Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Exoria. So, since last episode, I have done a little bit of cleanup work around the base. I did finally add in the stairs that I was wanting to add. Here and then over around the botania room and like right there and stuff like that. I also added some iron fences from Deadly Monsters. I decided to go with these. They actually look better, I think, than the iron bars. Not to mention they're actually easier to craft. Quite a bit easier. Not really cheaper, but I don't have to do all the iron rods, and they're just a bit easier. Plus they look like a nice like steel look. I actually quite like that. And then over here in this room, I have added a couple new materials. We have black quartz, sardis quartz, and nether quartz added to this wall here. And I did upgrade this from obsidian to magma block. Ryan Dahmer brought it up, and it was like, oh yeah, we need to upgrade that because we have better heat source blocks than obsidian at this point. So really the only thing better than a magma block, you can actually check it if you look inside of, actually right here, magma block. If you take a look at it in JEI, you look at your heat sources, you can click right here, show all recipes, you can see all your heat sources. The only thing that's better than a magma block is the blazing pyrotheum. And then over here, the embers have actually managed to catch up on the iron at this point. Now that I've upgraded the number of ember bays, we've been able to catch up on all the materials. They're all cooked down and everything. Embers still haven't started building up in this. I'm still waiting on that. But, let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's probably backed up down in there somewhere. I'm not going to remove that wall, but it's starting to back up the pipe system. I've made some changes down here. You can see the drawers have been moved, shifted. I've added a couple new drawers over here. And then I shifted these over so that I've got a drawer controller. Instead of having all those individual pipes, now they go straight into the drawer controller and they feed the items in. And then if they can't go into the drawer controller, they go into apiarist chests, which I just emptied these out, actually. Okay. And then any overflow that doesn't have a place, if that comes up, it'll go into this gold chest. And then back in here, I have expanded our bees again. I did quite a bit of bee work over the weekend, quite a bit of it. And let's see, this is where we kind of left off, last episode or the episode before that. I did add in, the 3 more embers. So altogether we have 4 ember bee lines. And I mean, these are all double stacked. So we have 8 batches of ember bees running. Long term, we're probably going to have more, but for right now, 8 sets going is pretty good. And then, of course, we have an additional line of Barnium bees right here. And then right next to that, we start our new bees that we've got added. We have magma bees, at long last. So those are situated and everything, and running happily. And then if we come around here, we have muddy bees. Because that was one I kind of overlooked, and I was like, oh yeah, there's mud bees, which produce... The muddy bees produce mud as well as terraclay, which is kind of useful. And we didn't have that stuff coming in from bees yet. And then next to that, we have sardis quartz bees, which are producing sardis quartz dust. That's why I've got sardis quartz up there in that room. And then I have black quartz. Finally got around to that. So we're producing some black quartz. I have aluminum, which is producing the aluminum dust. I don't have that auto-processing yet. I honestly haven't ran into a lot of situations where I need aluminum yet, so it's not really a major rush on that end. And then right next to that I have soul bees, which produce a soul comb. They don't actually produce, soul sand yet. We have to get a centrifuge up and going before we can get the soul sand from that. But not a big concern, because we've got soul sand and we've got an easy way to get soul sand. And then we have glowstone, which does not produce glowstone dust. It just produces the comb. So until we get the centrifuge, which is hopefully here in the near future, we're not actually getting glowstone from that. The same with redstone. Redstone bees, they produce a comb. It's not really doing anything for us just yet. Then we have quartz bees, which are producing nether quartz dust, which of course turns into nether quartz. So we do have that automated. And then next to that we have Fluix. This is my most recent bee, and actually produces Fluix crystals. So you can see it's a 15% chance, not too bad on Fluix crystals. I'm not sure how many we've got. We'll have to go over there and look. And one thing I wanted to point out, this is an effect. The only real effect that I noticed, I don't actually recall any of these other ones having effects that I noticed. But these redstone bees actually had an effect, and I finally got it isolated into these. It's the only bee that has this effect right now, but it has the power effect. Redstone has that, which is kind of nice. I'm trying to hold on to these effects. Like right now I'm holding on to water, of course. Most of my bees are water-based. And then quite a few of them are beatific that has the regeneration. And then now we've got power, which I'm going to hold on to that. And once we start Gendustry, you know, I can pull it off. I'm not going to worry about breeding this over onto other bees or actually making any real use of it at the moment. I just want to make sure we have at least one bee breed that has that effect so I can get it off later with Gendustry. But what power does is it actually will slowly generate RF in surrounding machines. So like how our water bees do with water, you know, if we built out, you know, a big like RF storage battery, for example, and had power bees around it or near it, then they would actually, it's not a great rate, but and I haven't actually tested it in this pack. It's not a whole lot of RF, but with a lot of bees, you can actually produce some decent RF. It checks the area and does like a random block, and if that block can accept RF, then it produces some RF. So, but it will, you know, passively generate RF for nearby machines or power storage or whatever that can accept RF. It will slowly add some RF to that. So quite useful. Quite useful indeed. And then right here I actually just planted corn. I'm still waiting to kind of expand it. You can actually get the corn seeds, but you have to smelt the corn. I'm not worried about that. I'm just kind of slowly expanding it. Because I'm not really using corn at the moment for anything. But it will be useful if we get into any kind of foods that take tortillas. And then in addition, I did upgrade our armor. So it's all level 2, and I went ahead and added level 2 upgrades to it. So we have level 2 Eerie, level 2 flame barriers on both of those, and then a level 2 cinder jet. So I now dash a bit further. And then I did upgrade the pick. I haven't added anything into it yet because I'm not sold on any of the upgrades just yet on that. I haven't decided for sure, so I haven't added anything to that. And I think that gets you guys all caught up. I will say the only bee that I'm actually working on right now, I went through the bees over the weekend and actually made like a little spreadsheet for them and everything, the ones that I needed. And this is only covering these bees. Later on we'll get into additional bees like you know, the vanilla forestry ones and all that, which that'll be in the future. I think we can look at them because they don't actually show up in JEI, at least at the moment. Well, they probably don't ever because this pack has everything unlocked. But the excited, energetic, ecstatic, those bees from like magic bees, Benny's extra bees, those mods are within the pack. So the bees are there. They don't show up in JEI, but we can get those through a couple different methods. Namely, I think the one that we'll namely be using early on is botania. But I'm not going to worry about those. We can't really utilize them too much until we get into a different climate, you know. So for the moment, I just went through and did these bees right here, the ones that show up in JEI. I made a little spreadsheet, and the majority of these, they either require like damp climates, or like if you take a look at, say, just titanium for an example, warm and damp. There's cold normal, there's warm damp. A lot of these require, technically I could, if I managed to get like both 2 and both 1 in the cave dimension, you know, I could get them running, but it's a little bit more trouble than it's worth. So I think the only other bee that comes to mind, I want to say rubber is like, yeah, it's damp. And it requires signalum, which is damp. The only bee that I'm presently working on right now is core bees. These right here, and they're not too bad, rock and magma. I did start working on those, and these bees actually produce ardite and cobalt. And I haven't messed around with figuring out what triggers their specialty. I'm almost thinking it's probably going to be like a block of cobalt or a block of ardite, or maybe even a block of manulin. I don't know. So we'll find out, you know, once I get those situated and everything. I'm still kind of working on stats with those. And it could even, I think it's actually possible that it could be a block of cobalt produces cobalt, block of ardite produces ardite. I don't know. So I'm going to do some testing once I get those bees situated. So, I mean, I could do it in a test world, but I can just as easily do it in this world. So I'll cross that bridge whenever I come to it. So anyways, last episode when we left off, we were about to start power. All right, that's one of our major goals for today. and then we'll try to get a little bit of automation in there as well. However, before we do that, I want to go ahead and knock this quest out so we can unlock this quest. And really the only thing I have left to do is make a mana tablet. I've actually made a mana diamond a bit back. But I almost made a mana tablet a while back, and then I got sidetracked. So we'll go ahead and just knock that quest out. There we go. And quest complete using mana. And then we've got a quest here for magical steel. It requires Terra Bozu, sleeping bag, mana steel ingot. Let's see, let me grab my wand of the forest. This is set to, yeah, let me switch that. I want to make the mana pool feed the mana tablet. And that should be filling it. Yeah, there we go. There's the particles. I was waiting for those. So it's going to start charging up our mana tablet. I don't know if there's any botania jewelry that we can actually pull off at the moment. Because I know a lot of botania has been like hacked and slashed so that a lot of it is not even available. Then a lot of it is a bit later on. Aha, we could get into like the Sojourner Sash. All that is craftable. Oh, and I can actually do this now. I can do the Ring of Magnetization now because I have Fluix crystals from the bees. So we can pull that off now. Awesome. Awesome. It actually doesn't require mana for the Ring of Magnetization, but we've got mana. So let's see. We've got 7 Fluix crystals, and that'll be fine. We'll go ahead and snag 4 of those, and then we just need a bit of redstone, then we'll need some iron and glass panes. Alright, so we've got 3.5 stacks of steel. Let's go ahead and grab, like, we'll do a half stack of mana steel for right now. I think that'll be good for a bit. And let's go ahead and just throw that in there and get ourselves our mana steel. And then I guess we're ready to make the Ring of Magnetization. I'm really excited about this because I've been wanting a magnet. There's that, and there's that, and then we'll combine that with that, get our magnetizing lens, and then our Ring of Magnetization. Oops, and we'll go ahead and throw that thing on. Yeah, I definitely want to get the Sojourner Sash. So let's grab our Runic Altar. Let's set this up. Alright, so let's go ahead, put down our Runic Altar, and I can't remember. I think I've got mana spreaders, right? I guess I'll just go with a standard mana spreader for right now. That's what I was looking at, was maybe upgrading him, but we'd have to get Elementium, which takes Terra Steel, and yeah, we might as well just do it this way. I've got 5 guilty pools. I'll go ahead and just use a new one, because I'm kind of using these for our like operations. We have the Alchemy Catalyst one, the standard one, and then we'll do a Conjuration Catalyst one there, which is going to be interesting. The Conjuration Catalyst, when you have infinite mana, is going to be a little bit curious. By the way, can we make the Conjuration Catalyst yet? It's not even in here. Interesting. Because I see it show up in JEI under recipes a lot. Like if we take a look at, say, gunpowder, I think that was one of them. No, not gunpowder. Was it soul sand, maybe? When I was looking through it, soul sand. Yeah. Conjuration Catalyst right there. It shows up here as being a valid recipe, but it's not actually craftable. So, alright, well anyways, 2 spreaders will be fine. We'll go ahead and just bind those over. Bind that over. Maybe I want to put it a little bit closer. It'll run faster that way, so we'll put it like right there. And we should be in business. Alright, so for our Rune of Earth, we're going to need mana powder, which can be done with pretty much any kind of powdered material. I'll probably use glowstone or redstone. Either one of those are pretty cheap. We're going to need... Oh, wait, mushrooms. I do not have mushrooms. But it shows them as spawning in the world. Or maybe I've just never noticed them. Mushrooms are one of those things, like when you're not looking for them, you just kind of overlook them. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same way with like flowers, you know, you don't really notice them being there. So I guess I'll pop down to the core and I'll run around for a minute, see if I can find some mushrooms. Okay, yeah, mushrooms are going to be the problem, I think. I think we'll find them once we hit the Misty World, probably. But I got to looking here, and if you look at the world gen, it's a less than 0.01% chance that a mushroom will spawn. I didn't see any. I'm assuming maybe if there's some like exposed magma rack, there's a small chance that there can be one that spawns. I ran around there for a while. Didn't come across any, so I think we'll just wait on that. Wait on the sash. I mean, I could make some rods. I mean, there's some rods that would be useful. More useful in the near future than now, though. I don't have any rods that are... I mean, there's like infinite dirt, because I mean, we've got infinite mana. That's not a problem. So I could use that for like infinite cobblestone, which cobblestone, we've got infinite cobblestone already. But infinite dirt, I could use it for that. But right now I'm good on dirt, and I know my cactus farm over there at the other base, the original base, is probably backed up with dirt at the moment. But I will probably disassemble that. I just heard something. What's crafting? Something's crafting. But anyways, so let's go ahead and switch gears back over to what we're going to be focusing on today, which is the power-up stuff. I want to get into this, because I know a lot of what I'm working towards right now is the centrifuge. I want to start... That's what I'm aiming for. And requires this circuit board here, which requires the BC Silicon chipsets. I'm curious to see if we're going to have to do lasers and all of that. That's going to require a lot of power, but right now I can't even open that quest up. So we have to work towards that and some decent power. So I'm hoping that this will lead us into some decent power. This is not decent power, I can promise you. But let's go ahead and craft this thing, the Electrostatic Generator. So this is going to require a couple bronze plates, a block of redstone, stone, 3 rubber, and then a furnace, which I've got... I need to make more bronze. I definitely need to make more bronze. Which I can make that in the alloy kiln now, so I'm going to do that. But we'll get... oh, wait. Does this have to be like dust or something? Let's see, bronze in the alloy kiln. It has to be dust. Eee, okay. That's right. So we'll just do the melting method for this then, in that case. So we'll toss in our copper, toss in our tin, and get that stuff running. And there we go. That's going to start kicking through on embers. Oot. Okay, so anyways, but we got the bronze right now to make the thing that we want to make. I've actually got more stone here smelting. I'll grab a stack of that to make this electrostatic generator. And this thing is super manual. If you've never used it before, it is incredibly manual. I can't wait until the day when we get to the Misty World and we can actually just use Misty World blocks to make furnaces, like flat out. That's going to be great. I'm actually going to go ahead and just grab all the rubber that I've got, because I know we need rubber boots as well. So we might as well go ahead and make those, because those are going to be required for the quest, and required to actually generate the power for this thing as well, because this thing works on static electricity, basically. Is the way that it generates power. And then in addition, we need 8 white carpets. And there we go, quest complete. I made power. And before we actually start running that, ooh, conveyors from, those are the ones from Magneticraft. And then we've got thermal energy. That's what we need to go for, thermal-based power. Because I can generate as much power as I need to with that. I mean, I can expand on it and everything. But anyways, there's a quest here for a charger, which makes fluix crystals to make a magnet. Funny story, we actually just did that. I wish I had known that's what it was for. I was thinking for some reason that it was for charging up something else, I guess. Anyways, let's go ahead, I guess, and make the charger, because it does lead into some additional quests of steel and Certus quartz to make that. Good thing we've already got all that automated. And there's our charger. And we got the fluix production advancement. And then we also have to get, oh, the charged Certus quartz crystal. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do this. Which I'm not actually going to make fluix crystals with this method, but we'll go ahead and make a piece of charged Certus quartz. So we're going to put down our electrostatic generator, and then all around this, we're going to put down carpet. And this is basically the grindstone of RF production, more or less. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw on our rubber boots. These allow us to produce static electricity. Let's go ahead and throw our charger on the top of this, and we'll throw in our Certus quartz crystal right there. And then what we have to do is we have to walk around this with these boots on. And we have to just keep walking around it. Yeah, you can see right there, it's 345 AE out of 1.6 AE. And you can see it's steadily going up as I walk around this thing. For every block that I step, it is like, I don't know, 15-ish. I don't know, is a little bit of power. Let's see. Let's walk around this real quick. Luckily, I don't have to actually use this for making fluids because this would be fun. Okay, it's done. So, there we go. Shocking. And we got our charged Certus Quartz Crystal. And then we just have to get a Fluix Crystal to complete the quest, which... There we go. That's a lot easier. And quest updated. And then they want us to make a magnet. Of course they do. Another one. But luckily I don't mind because we're going to need these anyways. As we get into Magneticraft, we're going to have them, so... Alright, so there we go. There is our magnet, and quest complete. Now you can also make this. It actually details right here to make Fluix Crystals. Throw charged Certus Quartz and Redstone into water. So I'm not going to do it on camera. Just throw it into a water source block, and there you go. Okay, so what do we got here? Powered smelting. Powering the crucible. That's one thing I want to get into once we get this. The conveyors seem to be a dead end. There's Power Mark 2. It looks like probably water wheel and maybe windmill as well. Let's see. Do I want to start thermal energy or... Let's go ahead and do lacking lacquer. Okay, so for this quest, the first thing that we're going to need to make is an iron cauldron. I actually almost made one of these a while back because it makes... You can make obsidian in it pretty easily by just combining water and lava. Let's see, how many iron plates? 3 iron plates. And then I'm going to need 4 sarsen stone, which is actually exactly how much of that I've got. I'm running low on sarsen stone, but I can go stock back up. Oh yeah, I was wondering why I couldn't dash. I'm still wearing those rubber boots. It would be interesting if they actually had you generating power with that for like an extended period of time. But instead you can move straight into thermal energy like as soon as you make a Fluix Crystal. But it would make an interesting dynamic. Alright, so cauldron, and there we go. There's that. And then we're going to have to place this on a drain. And then you have to have a lid too. So let's see. Let's go ahead and make the lid and the drain. That's just an iron plate and a button. I should have started with that too. And then what is the drain tank? And they have it as a scoria drain. I'm going to go ahead and make this just to make sure that we don't end up making something and it not working. So we're going to have to make some iron slats, which are just 4 iron nuggets. There's that. And then we're going to need a piece of scoria stone and our saw. Oh, it has to be smooth scoria stone, which is, I'm sure it's a 4x4 for that. Yeah. That's the problem. So that, iron slats, saw, there's our drain. And then I'll just dump this into there. Alright, so there is our iron cauldron lid. And I actually only need one of these drains, so I'm just going to put this other one into there. And then we're going to need a heat source. Let's go ahead and use a magma block for this. And then in addition, we're going to need some ground urushi, which we're going to have to get resin. We're going to have to make another one of those tree taps, right? Yeah, which is only from Dreamwood. And we'll go ahead and grab ourselves a bunch of resin, which is so easy with the magnet. There we go. There's that. And then we're going to have to hammer this stuff out. I swear there's something always taking damage near me in this. Like, I think it's, I don't know if it's the poison rain or lava. It could be either or. I don't know. By the way, I love these steel hammers. I crafted one of these, right? And I did it for just honey drops. And I made so many honey drops. It was like 4.5 stacks, I think it was. Quite a bit of honey drops there. Okay, so we got our ground urushi. And then what we're going to do is, let's set this up. We'll put it right over here. Should be fine. So let's go. Oh, there's a ceiling right there. Actually, if I put it back into here, that would be fine. So we'll pull that up. We'll put down our magma block right there. On top of that, we're going to put down our drain. And then on top of our drain, we're going to put our cauldron right there. Go ahead and get ourselves a bucket of creosote. And we're going to put this into the cauldron. Like that. Oh, you know what? I forgot to open the drain. So the drain, we're just going to right-click it to open it. And it'll allow the heat to come up into the cauldron. Okay, I was just looking in here. It's not creosote that we put in here. It's water. It says right here that we need water for this. So let's go ahead and put that in there. And then we're going to throw in our 4 ground urushi. And we'll give this just a bit. It's going to take a little while. We should start seeing like steam particles coming up out of this after, you know, basically after the water heats up. It does take a minute for it to start emitting steam. There we go. It's emitting steam. And you can put the lid on there and it'll keep rain from, you know, raining into it, stuff like that. But I'm going to leave the lid off. I think it'll still craft without the lid. I don't think it actually requires the lid to craft. And there we go. It just converted over. And we've got our urushi. And we'll just right click that. And there we go. There is our bucket of it. And now, let's pop over here. Let's get ourselves just some wood planks. And we can make ourselves some lacquered wood. And this is crafted just like creosote wood normally is. So there we go. There's that. Quest updated. And then all we have to do is just get our treated wood planks. And I believe for that we need creosote, right? We have to, well, let's see. I believe we then treat it with, yeah, we have to treat it with creosote after that. That's where the creosote comes in. So that, there we go, treated wood planks. Done, and quest complete. And we can get our ladle. Oh, there's a revolver quest, and there is one of the engines from BC. Okay, so now they want us to craft an engineer's workbench. They're going to give us a blueprint for, okay, the crafting components blueprint, which has the thing that I'm after, which is the circuit board. So the engineer's workbench, let's take a look at that. Is this drastically different? No, treated wood. Oh, I'm going to have to make more of that, aren't I? Yes, I am, in fact. Okay, that's fine. I've got plenty of that stuff. Just takes a minute to craft is all, really. Okay, we got the treated wood that we need, and then I also went ahead and did 16 urushi with 4 buckets of water, and it did convert just fine. It actually converted really, really quick. I've noticed that the time is random. That second bucket that I made took like around 5 minutes. This 4 buckets right here only took like a minute to craft. And then I filled up our water here. So, let's go ahead and get our engineer's workbench. There's that. Time to tinker advancement and quest complete. I'm an engineer, and we unlocked engineering knowledge. Ooh. And did it give us the blueprints? Yes, it did. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now that that's in place, aha, I'm firing my laser right there. That's what I'm aiming for. But we're gonna have to get into power, either thermal power or right here they want us making a Stirling Engine. But that's not compatible with, yeah, it's not compatible with other power sources. Okay. And let's see, did that unlock anything else anywhere? No, it didn't. Didn't unlock any other quests. The engineer's knowledge stuff. Alright, so we'll go ahead and just put down our engineer's workbench right there. We'll go ahead and drop our engineer blueprint into there. To make circuit boards is copper plates, vacuum tubes, and the redstone chipsets. I'm sure now we can see the redstone chipsets, I'm assuming. It does look like we're going to have to get lasers. Oh, no, we can't. We still cannot see those. Okay. Well, I tell you what. We're going to have to move into the BC power as well as the RF power. Well, really, the RF power should be able to power the BC, but I feel like, I don't know, I also feel like this quest wouldn't be here if we could, I don't know. I guess we'll go ahead and do this. The Stirling Engine, the wooden kinesis pipe, and the cobblestone kinesis pipe. Let's go ahead and knock out the kinesis pipes. Right here, it's just redstone. It's standard recipe here. But we'll go ahead and get our wooden transport pipes, and they want cobblestone. Yeah, cobblestone transport pipes. Let's go ahead and just get like 8 of those. And we'll go ahead, there's our wooden kinesis pipe. That's a power input pipe, by the way. And then our cobblestone transport pipes. I guess I actually don't need that many of them. I'm going to go ahead and just get like 3 for right now. Yeah, that'll be fine. If anything, I might want more of the input pipes. And then for the Stirling Engine, It is stone gears, mechanical components, which we can craft 2 iron plates and a copper ingot to get those. Those are easy. And then just some cobblestone. And that's just cobblestone. Perfect. I may end up making more of these, honestly. We'll see. Because, I don't know, it depends on how expensive lasers are within this pack. Or how expensive the chipsets are, because, like, in a lot of packs, BC Silicon stuff is expensive. But then in other packs, like, it's not too bad. So, I don't know. Depends on what the RF cost ends up being for this. Oh yeah, I've got to make that. There we go. Iron mechanical component. And Stirling Engine. Done. And quest complete, another power source. Perfect. Oh, metal presses. Yep, replacing manual work. That's what I want, is a squeezer. I want it so bad. Okay. But we're going to have to get some thermal power going. We'll get that here in just a second. I'm firing my laser. It takes cobalt and ardite ore, which we've actually got that. Over here. There we go. And then they want us to make, whoa, 5 lasers, an assembly table, and an advanced crafting table. And then 64 laboratory blocks. That's easy. That's just a little bit of nether quartz and stone. But let's take a look at these lasers. What do they take in this pack to make? Obsidian and ardite ingots with some redstone. More redstone than what I've got. I'm going to have to make some more of that. I'm going to steal an ingot mold. I need to make another one of those, but I'm going to throw our ingot mold into here. And let's see, ardite actually requires a higher melting point than what we've experienced so far. Requires 2100 to actually cook this. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to throw this into there. It's not going to double, actually, is it? Is it 1 for 1? Oh, it makes 2. Makes 2 ingots a piece, so I could pull off the 4 lasers that we need. It was just 4 lasers, right? No, it's 5 lasers. Okay, I'm going to have to get more ardite. Let me go mining. It shouldn't take very long, actually, because this stuff tends to be pretty common. Or common-ish. I'm not going to say common. It's not common, but it's common-ish. So, let me do a bit of mining, and I'll be back here once I find a little bit more ardite. What do we need the cobalt for, out of curiosity? I'm sure it's probably the table, one of the tables that we need it for. A block of cobalt for the assembly table. And then a block of cobalt for the advanced crafting table. But I've almost got enough ore. 1 more ore and we'd be good. And like I said, I'm working on the core bays, so maybe once we get those up and going, like, our cobalt ardite issues will be over. Yeah, see, there we go. There's cobalt. Oh, wow. I just vein mined a bunch of scoria stone, right? And look at all this cobalt here. It's not exactly what I'm looking for. I really just need ardite right now, but I'll definitely take this cobalt. And having magnetism is just great. Okay, I got the ardite that we need. Perfect. So let's go ahead. Didn't take very long, especially with vein miner. Doesn't take all that long. Alright, so first up we're going to smelt down all the ardite, and then we'll do all this cobalt. After that, and I'm going to let it, let's see, the cobalt I'm going to let build up because I'm going to need 2 blocks, then the rest of it I'll just pump it out as ingots. So let's try for, I don't know of any way to actually look to see the temperatures, but let's try throwing a piece of coal coke in there and seeing what happens. Might be better to do blocks. I know blocks come out to be like, I don't know, a couple 100 degrees higher. But I'm curious to see what a single piece of coal coke will do, if we can actually process metals that way or not. Okay, it looks like it's going to power it, but I don't think it's going to go much faster. It's starting to really slow down right now, which isn't a good sign. Of course, we could use RF. We're at the point now where we could use RF power to power this thing, which is going to be good. We're going to get that up and going here soon. But I think if we did like a block of coal coke... Yeah, let's actually change this over to a block of coal coke. What did I do with my, We could get a few degrees higher and it might be a bit better. Oh, we can't use a block of coal coke in this. That's too bad. Okay, that's done processing. We got 18 ardite ingots, and then we've got our cobalts all melted up. It didn't really take that long, in truth. So, I'm going to throw our, whoops. I'm going to throw our block mold in there. I'm going to get 2 blocks of cobalt. And I think that's all that we're going to need for this. And there we go. I'll just pull that out. I'm going to leave that cobalt in there for right now. I'll probably end up changing it to ingots. But right now I'm not using this for anything, so we'll leave that as is. And let's see, the assembly table, blocks of redstone. Let me warp over. I've got some redstone running. 64, great. That's already done. That stuff crafts up pretty quick, actually. And then we're going to need some obsidian for all this. So we'll go ahead and grab a stack of that. And, oh yeah. Does this... Okay, that takes a crafting station. I don't know what is always taking damage. Always taking damage. I have no clue. I have no actual clue what that is. I think it's just like the lava and then the fairies just keep spawning into it or something. I don't know. Drives me insane. There's our assembly table. There's our advanced crafting table. And then we also need 5 lasers. Pew, pew, pew. So let's get 5 of those. And there we go. Laser power advancement and quest updated. I'm a firing my laser. And then we need 64 laboratory blocks because these require a room with at least 64 exposed laboratory blocks. Okay. And we'll go ahead and get that. There we go. Quest complete. And what did that unlock? Yeah, the metal press to get the circuit boards, which I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about the metal press. Does it... Let's see, that circuit board requires copper wires. But we could technically make those already. Technically. Well, we'll probably go for the metal press, which means we're going to go for thermal power as well, because our current power situation is pretty bad. But let's go ahead and get the lasers up and going. And do these take... Well, we still can't look at it in JEI. But normally, the standard recipe for these is just redstone. Let's go ahead and we're going to set up a room for our lasers. And I don't know, do I want it in this room? Do I want to try to fit 64 laboratory blocks into this room? Or... Actually, I think I'm going to put it down here. We're going to put our RF power and stuff down here in this little workshop area, I do believe. This will be a good spot for it. So give me just a second while I get some of this pulled up and put our laboratory blocks in. And I'll be back here in just a minute. Okay, I got a little floor design laid out, is what I ended up going with. And so let's go ahead and set up our lasers, our laser system. We're going to have part cow room, and then glowstone farm, and then RF power down here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up our Stirling Engine, and we're going to put this thing setting... Let me actually close up this. Well, actually, no. Let's go ahead and set down our lasers first. We're going to put our laser setting... really? How's it missing... unless the fairy dust is messing with it. Let me shift that over. That's probably what it is. Okay. Let's try this again. So we're going to put our lasers down like there, and I'll probably end up putting another one right in there. Here in just a bit. And then we're going to take our kinesis pipes. I'm going to make a few more of these. Go ahead and get that. And we're just going to run these along back on the back here, connected up to our laser system. And then we'll just bring this down. We'll put in a wooden kinesis pipe setting right there. And then we'll put down our Stirling Engine attached to that. And then we have to start producing some power with this. And these should be able to store up a little bit of power. Let me grab just some charcoal. I'll grab like a stack of charcoal. And we'll just toss that in there, and it's going to... Does it need a redstone signal? I don't generally use the Stirling engines and stuff. Yeah, there we go. Now it's producing some power, and it's going to start transferring it over to our lasers. And then what we'll do is we're going to set down our assembly table. We'll put this setting like... I'll put it setting right there. And then we'll put our advanced crafting table setting right there. And then let's grab ourselves a chest. And we'll just put that in the middle, because it's going to output to nearby inventory. Or a connected inventory. And then let's see, if we were to throw redstone in here... Yep. Redstone Chipset is just redstone. Great. And Precision Crafting Advancement. It's going to start feeding it with our lasers. First one has found it. And go. Only this laser has found it. Why is that? Unless the rest of these just... Well, they should have power. They should all have power right now. Okay, yeah, the lasers aren't finding it for some reason. So I'm thinking that maybe it's the Stirling Engine placement is messing with it. So I'm going to actually shift this over. Let me just go ahead and pull this up. I may actually need additional Stirling Engines as well. We'll see. But I'll just put it down right there. And then we'll put the lever right there. And then we'll give it the charcoal. And now if we sit down our assembly table, we'll put it right here this time. A little bit closer. And we'll put our chest right there. And so now, if we select that, is it going to work? Okay, yeah, the lasers just aren't finding it. There's 2 of them that have kicked on. But it's still not kicking on all of them, and I don't know why that is. These are a lot different than they used to be, it seems like. I don't know if it's a bug or what it is. Let's try putting it up there. Now all the lasers have found it. But it just doesn't seem like I'm producing enough power at the moment to, like, effectively make this. But it can't accept... It says it's not compatible with the other power sources. Well, this thing is steadily crafting. We're going to need more power pumping into this, though, I feel like. And the advanced crafting table, I'm not going to worry about that right now because, like, power is such an issue, and this is, like, auto crafting. It's just faster auto crafting, which I don't need fast auto crafting. If anything, I could use slow auto crafting. That's fine, but it requires MJ to work, so it's not... I'll show it to you, you know, if you're interested in using it, but I'm going to have to see if maybe I can pump thermal power into these lasers, because if I could, that would be alright. But if I have to use MJ-based power to power the, like, to do the assembly table stuff, like, we're going to have to either get combustion engines or something, because that's way too slow. But in here, basically, you can put, like, an inventory into here, and then you can put your recipe, you know, like, for example, that makes tree wood planks. And then you can see that it's waiting from laser 500 MJ. So, and then it would auto-craft it and put it into here. But okay, it's been a little bit. I went ahead and added 2 more Stirling engines just because it was way too slow. I'm gonna... I don't know. I went to my test world. I know that the thermal energy will not work with the lasers. I haven't tested the windmill. That looks to be the actual immersive engineering windmill, but I think it's actually built so that these power systems don't interconnect and don't play well. So I think we're gonna have to do lasers using the Buildcraft energy system. So for right now, we don't have access to like oil or anything to do like combustion, so we'll have to stick with the Stirling for the time being, but that'll be fine. Like it's gonna be a passive system. It's actually already made 1 redstone chipset. So if it just kind of passively runs for right now, that'll be fine. And I might even be able to put barnium in those. I didn't even try that. So, I mean, we've got tons of barnium stocked up. Okay, funny story. I was about to switch gears over to this section and do some of the thermal power. And I just got curious. And I looked up to see if the portal stuff was actually craftable for Misty World. Now, normally I don't, if you watch my other series, you know I don't generally rush through things, but there's a good reason as to why I'm headed straight for the Misty World. I'm waiting it for a lot of stuff for the Misty World. There's a very good reason. I actually tested this mod, I don't know, it's been over a month ago, because it was a new dimension mod and I was curious, you know, and I tested it, and if you've never seen it, it's absolutely gorgeous dimension. And once we hit Misty World, I'll go ahead and tell you we're going to slow down and actually build legit. Like I normally try to do in my series. We'll actually build legit and do big setups and stuff like that, but there's a good reason as to why I'm waiting till we get to the Misty World. And you'll understand as soon as we enter the Misty World, you will totally understand why I'm gunning straight for that and why I'm waiting for that. I promise you, you'll understand. That and Defiled Lands is going to be like the 2 dimensions that we actually build in. But I got curious as to what the actual portal stone, because it's actually a really simple portal, and I got curious as to what it takes to craft it. It's actually super cheap. Stuff that we can already do. It's bees, dreamwood, some runestone, spark. It is really all we need for both pieces, the lower and upper portal stone. And it does require the basic crafting table in order to do it, though. And this requires basic stuff. It's a lot of tungsten steel, which is a combination of steel and tungsten, really easy to craft. But it does require a refined circuit board to craft this. And that has to be made in the carpenter with a circuit board. Technically, we could already make a circuit board. They're not that expensive. So, I tell you what. I don't know if you actually have to have the quest, though, unlocked to enter the Misty World. I don't know. So, right there is the refined circuit board. It looks like there's a quest right there for the refined circuit board, which probably leads into the extended crafting table, which then probably leads into the Misty World. I'm imagining so. So, we're going to go ahead and go straight for that. I'm going to do this quest. I'm not going to set up the press right now because I don't really have the power to do so. But once we get moved into the Misty World, we can set up, you know, windmills and thermal setups and all that fun stuff and actually start generating legit power with, like, some big stuff. Because what I have in mind for the Misty World is going to have windmills. Aplenty. Aplenty of windmills. So, anyways, let's go ahead and do this. This actually is not that bad of a quest. And the stuff after that is probably not going to be that bad. So, Redstone Chipset, we've got those. I've had this running for just a minute while I was looking at stuff. We've got 3 of them. That'll be fine. And so there is our Redstone Engineering block. And then we're going to need 2 steel scaffolding, which I'm curious, is that any different than normal? No, it's standard craft. I'm just going to have to melt down some steel to make rods. That's really the only special thing here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff pumped out as cobalt. And I'll go ahead and get this thing heating up. And we'll melt down some steel real quick, get the rods that we need. We're also going to need a piston, which I've got the 10 gears here. So we'll get 2 steel mechanical components, and we'll get a heavy engineering block. And then we also need the steel scaffolding, which is just like that. I'm going to go ahead and make 2 crafts of this, just because we don't actually need those loose blocks. And then that should be everything except for the conveyor belts. So, conveyor belts in this pack, let's take a look. I know that there's a quest that involves those. Not those, but I think we need those. Yeah, we need these, and then we can upgrade them into conveyor belts. So, iron plates, and then one of these machine blocks. These things are a little bit involved to craft. Let me put this stuff away for right now. Okay, I just got some iron rods made up. We are going to... For the machine block, the first thing we need to do is make some copper wire. And then we need to turn this into cable, the LV wire coils. And then what we need to do is, for the motor, we need that magnet that we made earlier. That extra magnet. And then we need to make a copper coil, which is crafted just like that. I'm going to go ahead and make 4 of them, because I know that, well, they don't stack, but I'm going to put a bunch of those away. We're going to need those once we hit the Magneticraft power. And Magneticraft is basically the way it works. We'll get into it more probably in the, I don't know, one of the coming episodes. Depending on how far we get, if we reach Misty World this episode or what. And this is all just basic stuff here for the machine block. But Magneticraft is basically like the evil doppelganger of immersive engineering. They're really similar in a lot of ways. Not exactly the same, but they have a lot of the same aspects and whatnot. So, anyways, there's 16 conveyor belts. And this is actually going towards this quest right here. And I will say these conveyor belts are a little bit more convenient in a lot of ways. But honestly, we're probably going to be using... We're going to use conveyor belts, and we're probably going to be using the Magneticraft ones. I have an idea for using those, because they have these inserters, and they look really, really cool. I love the way these conveyor belts look. I'll actually set one down so you can see it. Right there. Like, look at that. That's legit looking. And then you use, like, inserters to put items on, take items off of the conveyor belt. They just look really, really good. That's one spot that I feel like it really excels over immersive engineering in the way that it looks. Because these are just kind of like flat conveyor belts that you stick on something. These look like actually like factory type conveyor belts. But anyways, we can add some rubber to those and get conveyor belts, 1 for 1 on the craft. And there we go. That quest is complete now for the metal press. And we actually have a reward here to claim a projector and a blueprint for making molds. Let's go ahead and grab that. And for right now, I want to put this stuff away. Like I said, we'll set it all up. But we're actually really close to the Misty World. So I want to push on towards that because we're like, look at that. Didn't I say? There's the extended crafting table. And then there's automating crops. Interesting. But anyways, there's a quest here for more circuitry. And this is what we need to do. We need to get a bucket of acid, which is easy enough to do. Acid is all over the planet. It's that green liquid that does damage to you if you fall in it. Yeah, there's some right over there. Let me pop over there and grab a bucket of that. I don't know, this planet just feels like an exile planet to me. Like, I don't know. And honestly, like, just wait. Just wait until we get to the Misty World. It's gonna be so good. Okay, so there's that part done. And then we need to make a carpenter. And then we're pretty much home free as far as this quest goes. So the carpenter is bronze, a couple pieces of glass, sturdy casing, which is dawnstone, and then we need a circuit board, which is a copper plate, vacuum tubes, which take copper wires. Let me get a few of those pounded out real quick. What all plates am I going to need in total? 8 dawnstone plates, which I've already got those made. And then I'm going to need, what, 3 copper plates? Let me go ahead and get the dawnstone plates. And then we'll convert some of these into copper wires. There we go. And let's go ahead. We'll throw in a piece of glass, a couple copper wires, and a piece of redstone. We'll get our vacuum tubes. And then, let's see. Oh yeah, we need to make the circuit board in there, which does require 2 redstone chipsets. I had to put more charcoal in because I knew we were going to need more chipsets. Okay, we've got 1. I think I'm actually going to need like 1 more, but it should be done by the time we need it. Those engines aren't great, but they'll do the trick. So we need 2 redstone chipsets, 2 vacuum tubes, and a copper plate, and we get our circuit board. There we go. Quest updated, automating components. Yeah, automated workbench. We're definitely going to have to do that like soon. once we get moved over. I can taste it. You know, it's so close. It's so close. And like with SevTech, you know, I took my time, or I've been taking my time. And in most packs, I take my time. But, oh, the Misty World is just so good. It's so good. It's hard for me to, like, this planet is so blah. And then you go to, like, Misty World, and it's so, wow. Like, honestly, I dare say Misty World, like, you'll understand whenever we get there here, like, soonish. Maybe, I don't know if we get there this episode. Maybe. Yeah, because we're not far off now that we've got the carpenter. Then for the refined circuit board, we need just iron nuggets and then another circuit board. So I'm going to have to make another craft of vacuum tubes. Yeah, let me get that real quick. But I dare say Misty World is probably the best looking dimension in Minecraft history. I love the Misty World. And I've been, prior to this pack coming out, I was like waiting for a pack to get Misty World, honestly. And Defiled Lands too. Defiled Lands is really nice as well, but Misty World is just, it's spot on. It's the perfect dimension for building, in my opinion. And to power our carpenter, I actually put it on top of our electrostatic generator. Like, that's how anxious I am for this moment here. But it's got a bunch of power in there. Hopefully it's enough to actually make this. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and toss our bucket of acid into there. There we go. And now we're all set to make this thing. We just need the circuit board. Whoops. Lay out the recipe here. We'll drop that in there. And okay, we're waiting on 1 more chipset to finish up. Okay, so there's our circuit board. And I went ahead and prepped up some things. It's been a little bit since I cut when I was waiting on that circuit board. I've actually got tungsten steel ingots going. I went in and grabbed a few things here. And then over here we've actually got 11 chipsets now. So, But anyways, let me pop back up here. And we'll just drop this right into there. And there we go. It's going to start running. You can see it's got plenty of power. It's still at full power from the power that was built up in there. So that'll be fine. There's our refined circuit board. And done. Quest complete. More circuitry. A whole new world. There we go. It's funny they picked the gold block as the picture because basically the portal only needs like 3 things. It needs a top portal stone, a bottom portal stone, and a gold block. And as long as it doesn't require some kind of warp object or something like that, I don't know. I mean, this could all be in vain and we might have to back off and do something. I don't know. But I hope not. I hope not. Okay, so the next quest, we need to get the new art of crafting, the extended crafting table. We're going to need tungsten steel ingots, luminescence, and then craft the basic crafting table. So this stuff, like I said, I've been prepping all this stuff. There's tungsten steel, easy as pie. And then luminescence is just a combination of 2 glowstone, gunpowder, redstone, and you get luminescence. And there's actually some really cool, we use this in SevTech. And right here, like, this is all the extended crafting stuff. There's actually some really good decorative stuff. Like, these pedestals are amazing looking. We'll probably use those because you can put items on there and they rotate and everything. I used them in SevTech a bit back. Okay, so quest updated. And now we need to get the actual crafting table. So for this, we're going to need tungsten steel plates. What, 9 of them? And these are just tungsten steel like that. Which I am going to need a little bit more of this. Okay, so there is our 9 tungsten steel plates. And then we need 8 basic crafting components. These right here, which take the plate, the luminescence, and then 2 iron each. So there's 8 of those. And then we also need a basic catalyst, which is 4 of the basic components, and a piece of tungsten steel. This piece is finishing up right now. I made a bit more. I made a half stack. It's a bit more than what we're going to need, but we'll eventually need it later on because we're going to have to make 2 of those to make the next tier, and then 2 of those tier to make the following tier, and then 2 of those to make the final tier. So we'll eventually use it. It's not really a big deal. Alright, so there is that basic catalyst, and then we can get our basic crafting table. Dun dun dun! I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Quest complete, new art of crafting. Green power. Okay, a whole new world. Here we go. I finally found a way to teleport away from this planet. Hooray. I wonder what awaits me there. I just need a gold block with 2 portal blocks on top and bottom. Alright, that's it. So there is no warp item for this. Which is, I mean, it's standard. You don't normally use a warp item, but you also don't normally use a warp item for basically a nether portal either. So, okay, so the portal stones. These are actually super cheap. This is what sent me on this quest in the first place. Most everything aside from the Dreamwood is down in our B storage area. And also the gold block part of it. I actually have a gold block right here. Right here that finished up. To be honest, this wasn't what I was expecting to be doing this episode. I didn't think it was this close, but then I'm glad I looked at the portal stone. And then it was like, oh, it's soon. In fact. Okay, so let's go. We'll just set this up in the storage room. And I'll put it right over here. This table you have to be in Exoria to use it. I think the other ones, I didn't look. But I think those are probably for other dimensions. Yeah, advanced crafting table, you have to be in the Misty World. Which these, I mean, we could actually craft this. Like, as soon as we get to the Misty World, we could go ahead and craft this thing. Which is used to make void miners. Very, very interesting. But we could craft that, like, right out the gate. This one you have to be in Dimension Unknown. In the Tier 4, I don't know. Dimension Unknown, I don't know. Unless... I have no clue. I have no actual clue. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this laid out real quick. So we've got Spark, Exoria Essence from the bees. Of course, that you have to do bees to get that, but that's really early bees. So there's our upper portal stone. And then we'll do the lower portal stone. Just like that. And da-da-da, quest complete, a whole new world. And did that... Oh, it opened up the tech progression. So we did get another tab. Didn't do the sawmill. I know I was planning on doing the sawmill this episode, but it's not really a priority. Misty World is actually top priority at this point, I'd say. Alright. Let's go down here. We're going to take... I'm going to set the portal up right down in this hallway here. Which I kind of cleaned up, as you can see. We're going to set it like right here. And that's what this little area has been waiting for. On the other side of this is a bee room, but... And then we're going to put the gold block right there. And then the upper portal stone. Pow! Gold rush advancement. And there is our portal to the Misty World. Dun, dun, dun. I'm so excited. But, guess what? It's about wrapping up point. So this is a really good cliffhanger. I'm actually probably going to enter the Misty World here soon. And start the next episode. But I know it's wrapping up point. I don't want to step into the Misty World because there's a lot I want to cover as soon as we get there. And I'm actually kind of curious to see how this plays out because, of course, all the dimensions so far have had custom mobs. Right? We had the sprites and the fairies in this dimension. Then we had the golems and the silverfish and shulkers in the second dimension. And then the third dimension we had golems, blazes, and magma cubes. But I'm kind of curious to see what they do with the Misty World because the Misty World... By default, it doesn't have like its own monsters. At least back whenever I did it. I mean, like I said, it's been over a month, probably closer to 2 months since I first played with the Misty World. It's very possible that things have changed, but we'll find out. But by default, I know the Misty World didn't have its own music and its own monsters and stuff like that. So I'm actually kind of curious to see what all changes have been implemented. I mean, it may have just some like random type of mob, like Embers, has the the Embers golems or something. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of wildlife there is there and everything, and see what all, if there's any changes since I've last played with it. Like I said, it is honestly, hands down, I'm a big Dimension fan, and I will say that it is the best looking dimension ever created for Minecraft, at least in my personal opinion. I love the Between Lands, don't get me wrong, absolutely love the Between Lands, but this dimension, as far as just having a dimension to build in, it is the best dimension. The best, because it's just pretty, and it's actually perfect for the build that I want to go with, my big build within this series. So we can actually finally start that. So next episode is probably going to be a bit of cutting. We're going to enter there, we're going to talk about the dimension, go over it, the basics of the dimension, and how the whole, like, poison fog and everything works, which is really, really, really cool. And then we'll do a bit of exploring, find a place to call home, maybe cut for a bit, do some building, cutting between the building and everything, and kind of start getting set up. I will say we're going to be kind of bouncing between... We're going to be straddling this base and the Misty World base for a little bit, because I can't fully leave this base right now because of the bees. I mean, I can't just pick them up and move them, because Misty World, I think, is a damp. It's going to be a damp area, but there are different biomes in the Misty World, so I don't know. But I don't recall there being like hot type biomes there. It's mainly like coldish biomes from what I recall. So, but like I said, I mean, things could be different now, but like cold and normal type biomes. But I don't know, we'll see. But we have the Waystone system, so it's not a big deal. Plus, in truth, I'll probably be building on that dimension for a while, so getting things situated. So, but our rushing is finally over. I promise, we're not rushing towards anything after this point. So I've just been I've been gunning for this portal right here. So anyways, I know it's wrapping up point. I'm going to end out this episode here. I'm done rambling about the Misty World. So anyways, if you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'll do my best to get those answered for you. And I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Stay up to date with when new videos come out. And I hope you guys are as excited as I am about entering this portal right here. My favorite portal ever. It looks really cool, right? That's just a taste of what's to come. So anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.